Does your stomach bloat, your body feel puffy, and your brain get foggy after you eat, but you keep getting told everything looks normal? You're not imagining it. Your gut may be one of the biggest drivers of the inflammation you're feeling. As a registered nurse who's also gone through this, I'm going to show you the clue most women miss, what it may be pointing to, and what to start today so you can calm it down. This is what makes things so confusing. Gut inflammation doesn't always feel like a gut problem. It can look like bloating, constipation, reflux, loose stools, food reactions, fatigue, brain fog, skin flares, anxiety, or that puffy, inflamed feeling that comes and goes. So when labs look normal, a lot of women start thinking maybe it's just stress. It's not all in your head. And here's the part most women never get told. When the gut stays irritated, it can keep pushing on the immune system and keep the nervous system on edge as well. That's why in this video, I'm going to show you how to spot when your gut may be driving the inflammation, the signal most people miss, and the first simple steps that can help calm the cycle down. And the signal is probably not what you think, because most women are looking for one symptom when they should be looking for one pattern. Here's where women miss it. They think gut inflammation has to look huge and dramatic: severe pain, constant bathroom issues, something obviously digestive. But that's not always how it starts. Sometimes it looks like this. You eat, and then your energy drops. Your stomach feels bigger, your rings feel tighter, your face looks puffier, your brain gets slower. You feel heavier, foggier, more inflamed, more uncomfortable in your own body. And because it doesn't look extreme, you brush it off. That's the trap. Because one of the biggest clues that your gut may be involved is not just what your stomach does, it's what your whole body does after you eat. That is the clue, not random symptoms. Meal length symptom spikes. That's what I want you to be watching for. And this is why normal labs can be so misleading. If you've been told things look fine, but you still feel bloated, foggy, inflamed, and exhausted, that doesn't mean nothing is going on. It may mean the pattern is being missed because your gut isn't just processing food. It's constantly dealing with signals: food, stress, immune triggers, and inflammatory load. So if that system stays irritated, your symptoms may keep showing up in places you would never think to blame on the gut. That's why this doesn't always stay a digestive issue. It can spill into your energy, your thinking, stress tolerance, skin, swelling, mood. So if you've ever thought, why does my whole body feel worse after I eat? That's the important question here, because that question opens the real pattern. And there's another piece that women miss. The gut doesn't just affect inflammation. It can affect the nervous system too. So if your gut is irritated, it's not strange that you also feel more anxious, more edgy, more wired, or completely drained. This is where women start doubting themselves, because now it feels like everything. Your stomach is off, your energy is off, your mood is off, your focus is off, and nobody is connecting those dots. But if your gut is aggravated, the rest of your system can start reacting too. That's why this feels so hard to explain. You don't just feel bloated, you feel off, and that matters. So now let's get practical. What's the signal that most people miss? It's this: you feel worse after eating, not just bloating, a broader flare after meals. You eat and then you notice more puffiness, more brain fog, more fatigue, more reflux, bowel changes, more skin irritation, more food reactions, more cravings, heaviness, and more inflammation. That's not random. That is useful. because it may be telling you that your gut is under too much burden. The goal is pattern recognition. And this is where a lot of women waste their time. They jump straight into supplements, testing, elimination diets, and random advice online before they've even identified their actual pattern. That's why they stay stuck. So before you do anything complicated, start here. Ask yourself, what happens after I eat? Not once, for several days in a row. What foods leave you more swollen, more foggy, more tired, more refluxy, more uncomfortable? How fast does it happen? Right away? An hour later? The next day, the next morning? And does it happen with certain categories more than others? For some women, it's ultra processed food. For some, it's gluten. For others, it's dairy. Some have sugar issues. For some, it's alcohol. And for some, it's not one food. It's the total load. Stress, poor sleep, eating too fast, constipation, convenience foods, an already overwhelmed system. That's why guessing gets expensive and totally exhausting. Patterns are what save you time. And honestly, this is exactly why I've used an AIP meal delivery service myself. Because sometimes the hardest part isn't knowing what to eat, it's having the energy to shop for it, prep it, cook it, and stay consistent when you're already exhausted, inflamed, or overwhelmed. That's where so many women fall off track because autoimmune eating can feel like too much work when your body already feels like too much work. That's why I love having a true AIP meal option that I trust and I use regularly. For me, it takes the guesswork out. It gives me something quick, supportive, and easy to grab when life is completely busy and I don't want to end up eating something that leaves me more bloated, puffy, foggy, or more inflamed. So if you want to stay on track, but don't always have the bandwidth to prep everything yourself, I'll link the AIP meal service that I personally use and trust on a monthly basis below in the description. If you're the woman who keeps getting told everything looks normal while you still feel miserable, here's where I would start. Step 1, lower the obvious irritation. For the next 1 to 2 weeks, reduce the foods that clearly leave you worse. Not forever, just long enough to hear your body more clearly. If you already know certain foods leave you bloated, foggy, or inflamed, this is the time to stop. Doing a little bit won't matter because sometimes that inconsistency is exactly what keeps the cycle going. I know I am guilty of that by just trying a little. I know myself. I know I can't do it because if I try just a little, all bets are off. Step 2, slow down before you eat. This matters more than most women realize. If you eat while rushed, stressed, distracted, or in go mode, your body may not handle that meal the same way. So sit down, slow down, breathe, create a little safety before your meal. For some women, that alone changes a lot. Step 3, pay attention to bowel patterns. If you swing between constipation and loose stools, that really matters. If your bloating builds through the day, that truly matters. And if you feel full, heavy, sluggish, and backed up, that really matters as well. Don't normalize those symptoms just because they're common. Common doesn't mean normal. And this is where many women can get stuck. They adapt to feeling bad. They get so used to the pattern that they stop seeing it as a signal. I know that I did, but your body is still talking. So here's the simplest way to start connecting the dots. For the next several days, track 3 things: what you ate, how your gut felt after, how your whole body felt after. Not just your stomach. Track your energy, your puffiness, your brain fog, your mood, your skin, your cravings, your bowel changes, your stress response, because when you track the whole body response, you stop missing the real story. And that's when women start saying, wait, this keeps happening after meals. That moment matters, because once you see the pattern, you can stop making random choices and you can start making smarter ones. That's the deeper message of this video. Your body is not being difficult. It's giving feedback. The bloating is feedback. The puffiness is feedback. The brain fog is feedback. The fatigue after meals is feedback. The problem is that a lot of women have been taught to override that feedback, to minimize it, to second guess it, to wait until it gets worse. But when you finally start listening to your body's pattern, you often catch the problem so much sooner. And that gives you your power back. So if you're wondering whether your gut could be driving inflammation, ask yourself these 3 questions. Do I feel worse after I eat? Do certain foods or meal patterns predict my flare-ups? And when I clean things up, even just for a few days, do I notice less bloating, less puffiness, less brain fog, less digestive trauma? And if the answer is yes, your gut may be a much bigger part of the inflammation picture than you realize. And that's good news, because it gives you a place to start. So I want to ask you, what gets worse for you when your gut feels off? Is it bloating, brain fog, fatigue, puffiness, reflux, skin flares, or something else? Please comment below and tell me. And if you want help starting to spot your own patterns, grab my free gut inflammation guide below in the description. Inside, I include tools like a symptom and trigger tracker, an energy pattern worksheet, and a supportive versus warning sign check to help you start connecting the dots in a simple, practical way. If convenience is one of the biggest reasons that you struggle to stay on track with anti-inflammatory eating, I also linked the true AIP meal service that I personally use and trust below in the description. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear that just because everything looks normal does not mean she has to keep feeling this bad. Remember, your body is not broken, it's burdened. And when you understand those burdens, you can finally begin supporting your body the way it has needed all along. Thank you for being here with me today. And please take care of yourself, because you deserve to feel better. And remember, we're all in this together. I'll see you in the next one.